All right, check 1, 2. This is just a quick audio check. I'll be getting started in a few minutes. There is a poll up in the chat if you haven't seen it. I mean, I'm notoriously known for not following what the poll votes for, but I'm curious just what people's interest is today. I can't seem to find the poll, but I'll take a look at it myself. Anyway, let me know if the audio is fine. I'll be honest. Hi, everybody. Here we are again on the coding train on a Monday, which I do sort of feel like might be, I don't know whether it's the literal worst choice of a day, but one of the worst days I could probably pick to live stream in terms of audience. I see folks are in the chat chatting up with suggestions. Let's bring up this comment from Stig. Stig, thanks for always being here. I feel like I've seen you every Monday for the last few weeks, which is so lovely. Have to see you someday in person again in Copenhagen. But maybe a session about using P5 serial with Arduinos. Yes. So this is something I very much would like to do at some point in the future. Unrealistic that I would get to it this fall semester, but you know, if the universe of people who watch the coding train can help keep me accountable here, this is something you should bug me about for 2026. There's a longer story to this, but I am hoping to be moving to a new recording studio where doing some tabletop stuff might work better, and would be, and also like a room that I have like much more like regular access to, where I could start to do, I want to do physical stuff. That's like my plan, but I've got to get to my next location. If anyone's really interested in this, I currently live stream from a garage in upstate New York, And I've been sort of moving back and forth between living in the city and living upstate, and I'm kind of in an in-between phase. But in 2026, I should be full-time in the city with hopefully a small little basement room. It won't be as big as the space that I'm in now, but I think it might be better. We'll see. Stay tuned. There's a lot of roadblocks to this happening. Derek says, already used your video on async. That is lovely. Fiora says, I'm working here. I feel so loud. There's nobody around for miles. I mean, not literal miles, but nobody nearby. But I feel like I'm shouting and, I don't know, disturbing somebody. Okay. So first of all, hello, my name is Dan Schiffman. This is The Coding Train. It is a YouTube channel that once was very popular. Oh, those were the good old days, 2018, 2019. I spent way too much like looking at my YouTube analytics and like sulking because like it's just nowhere near what it once was. But maybe it will come back. We'll see. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. But I'm trying to just get the engines running here on The Coding Train. And I had some false starts. I've had some difficulties, but things are going pretty well. So this is a channel where I have a very large back catalog of videos. If you're totally new here, why don't I just introduce you to, since this was asked in a couple recent comments, why don't I introduce you to the Coding Train universe, which you can find here on thecodingtrain.com. If you want to get started, I highly recommend this Get Started button, which will take you to my beginner course in processing, my playlist of videos with P5. These are for total beginners. There's some other stuff on here, but that's what this channel is. So, Vincent, if anybody wants to pop into the Discord, I'm happy to chat more about my move, but I don't want to lose too much time today. But the Coding Train Discord, I'll just mention, is a server that I am spending a lot more time in these days, trying to at least check in once a day to answer some questions, chat with folks. So come on in. The water is warm, although it's getting cold. Oh, the fall. The fall in New York City, especially in like the Hudson Valley, is just beautiful. But also, I find this a very hard time of year. The days are getting shorter. In a month, we're going to roll those clocks back an hour, and it's just dark at 4 o'clock and cold, and I just wait and wait and wait for the next summer. But anyway, so let me start with a few plugs here, because as I've been a little bit more active, I get the question, oh, I would like to support the Coding Train. How can I do that? First of all, you don't need to. I have a lot of support in my life. I have been working for 20 years, and I have a full, at NYU, I have a full-time teaching job there. That job really supports me and allows me to do this work. In fact, take this Monday every week to be with all of you here, so not required. That said, there are ways that you can also support the Coding Train if you're interested and able. One would be the Nature of Code book. I mentioned this before. Let me talk about how my views are down, my sales are down. No, the sales of the book have actually been terrific, but it's slowed down, and most people are not finding it through the website. But if you are in the U.S. And are interested in the Nature of Code book, you can get it here. I will say this, I think, will likely be one of the focuses, if not the focus, of this coming spring. So when we get to 2026, spring semester, which really starts in January for me, or early February, I'll be teaching the Nature of Code class at NYU, and I think I have videos that go along with most of the book. So for example, if I'm in the Forces chapter, and I was like, oh look, there's this section, there's this video that goes with it. I can scroll around and read the book. Let's find the next section. I think at some point I'm scrolling. You are not watching a glitch. That's me just saying I'm scrolling. Really? Oh, look at this. We'll get to air and fluid resistance, and there's a video. So, but I would say probably there's only videos for about 50% of the content of the book, and so why not? I would like to continue with that. So that's maybe a focus for this spring. Some extra questions here. Off topic, do you have any videos on contributing to the p5.js web editor? I do not. But you should contribute to the p5.js web editor, and I would say head over to the p5.js GitHub, p5.js Discord. There's lots of places where you can say hello and get involved. I see Deepam is here in the chat, and Kathy. We've got some moderators here today, which is wonderful. Things are looking up, and I remember I have my new favorite sound effect. I mean, this is how immature can I be? I am, by the way, if anybody's wondering, I am 52 years old and still doing this somehow. Although, I will say, it's kind of interesting. Like, I did not start the coding train until I was basically 40. Like, what was I doing my whole life? I had a whole life before I did this. I don't know. Is this winding down? Is this ramping up? I'm not really sure, but I'm doing it. Oh, and Math Blank is in the chat. Everyone should say a hello to Math Blank. And a thank you, because especially some of the videos that will be coming out, like if anybody tuned into my Bayesian text classification live stream, and then as you will see maybe later this week, there will be a edited version of the live stream, which might be somewhat watchable. And the only reason it's even vaguely close to watchable is because of the work that Mathieu does. Okay, what else do I want? So I wanted to plug the coding train. The other thing you can do is all of my videos, and sometimes early access and exclusives, are on Nebula. So Nebula, if you're not familiar with Nebula, is a creator-owned and operated collective, if you will, of streaming service. So, just like Netflix or name your other, did I just plug somebody else's corporate entity by accident? I just did. But anyway, Nebula is a place where all of my videos also appear, and they're fully ad-free. There is also no massive algorithm, and it's a little harder to find. Look, I love YouTube. Far be it from me. YouTube has given me so much in my life, and it's an incredible place. The world of online video is a tricky, sometimes uncomfortable place to navigate. I don't know if any of you have tried rhymes with Bora, and I don't know, are we all gonna have to just stop in like 45 minutes? Isn't it rhymes with FOPIN-AI? This is really not working, my rhymes with, to refuse to plug other corporate entities. But I think it's their dev day today, and there's a big stream happening. I don't know, I guess I could pivot and be like a commentary. Like I could be like, oh, I'm going to watch other tech streams and comment on them or something like that. But that's not what I do. Anyway, if you want to watch the videos ad-free, to be on a curated place of a creator-curated platform, I'm trying not to talk about AI-generated video and all of my various complex feelings about it, that run a giant range of excitement and awe to horror is the word, abject horror. So, but Nebula is a place. Okay, that's enough. Check. Okay, let's take a minute for me to let you know what's been recently on the coding train, in case you haven't been paying close attention and want to catch up on some of the videos. I don't know, right now, if you don't feel like watching me live, or later today, I'm going to go to the channel. I'm going to click on videos. I'm not signed into YouTube here. So just want to let you know, so one of the things that I'm doing is and this might be a topic for today, I'm sort of still undecided, I am covering new features of p5.2. Async and await is covered in this video, so check that out. I also made a second video that just goes through some additional scenarios relating to loading data. So, if it's confusing, which it is, but while I'm here, while I have you as a somewhat captive audience, you're not at all, you're nowhere near captive. These videos, this one down here and the one up to the right, they have redundant content in them. The one down here is meant for, you've been already using P5.1, maybe for 6 months, maybe for a year, maybe for 10 years. And you want to understand how the new way of loading in P5.2 works. This video walks through that transition. The other video on the top right just explains how loading data works without all of the baggage of P5.1. So it just starts right fresh. This is how you load data. So if you're, I made these both because I feel like people use my videos in different curriculum. And depending on who your students are and what the context is, you might want one or the other. That said, if you only watch this one, what you would want to do is go to the second one. And we're going to have to watch an ad. I forget that there's ads on the videos because I have YouTube Premium and I never see them. But we're going to skip it. In this video, I'm going to show you and I'm going to look here. And where's the time codes? You can go to basically here, somewhere around here. Now I'm confused. But somewhere around here, the middle of the video, somewhere around the middle of the video are examples that are a little bit more sophisticated and go beyond what's in this video. Okay, by the way, I just can't, no matter what I do, no matter how I try to time it, the lawn mowing happens during my live streams. The good news is it's happening right now, which means it's going to be done in hopefully the next 10 or 15 minutes, the loud part right around my garage here. So that's okay. And I know you can't hear it, but it really does bother me. So just bear with me. All right. So the other video that's on the channel is this What's Next video. And I didn't mean to, I don't know what I just did here. I guess, oh, okay. Let's go here, because this is going to be a nice segue into today. So let's see, can I get to the end? There we go. This is where I want to be. Let's go here. There we go. Pause. Okay, let's look at this. So this is something from one of my recent live streams where I talked through what my plans are for the fall. And really, I should be bringing it up over here, but I screwed up and I created this whiteboard map while not logged into my Vibe board system, so I can't get it back now. So I just have to look at it this way. So I thought that today, so one plan for today that I was thinking of doing is one from each of these categories. So maybe I'll look at fonts, the new font features in P5.2. Maybe I'll just try to really quickly make a what is an array video for beginner P5, just to kind of see how these go. And when I say make a video, in case this is the other thing that you might not be aware of. The workflow that I'm trying right now, which I've always done but never been as sort of committed to, is recording, if you will, the taking segments from these live streams and sectioning them out as separate videos that get uploaded. So, and that's everything that you've seen, that P5 async and await, those videos, the planning video, the what's next on the coding train videos, those are just edited segments from live streams. So when I say I'm going to record a video today, that means with you right here live, I'm going to go into talking about variable fonts, and then that will be edited and uploaded separately. Although I would really like to today try to dial back the sort of, not that I don't want to be energetic and enthusiastic, but if I can just keep the live streaming vibe a little bit more and let the editing do its work later, rather than as trying to oh, let me say this perfectly, that kind of thing. I need to get there. Okay. These are all great suggestions in the chat for different topics. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. Now I'm looking at the poll. Amazing. So earlier today, so now I'm trying to think of what to do with the, so I'm trying to, I guess I should probably just get started. I have I'm frozen. I'm like frozen. I can't even talk anymore. I really have to. What I really should do is make a schedule of and which topics I'm doing which days and just commit to that. Because what happens is I really just walk in here and I turn my equipment on and I start streaming. I made like a couple notes, but they were just like mention nature of code, mention the previous videos, talk about what I'm going to do today. So now I feel like stuck. Like, what am I doing? I made this poll in the chat. Earlier, it was like the conversational chatbot was like way to the top. Now people are kind of interested in the ML vision topic, it looks like. But maybe as a warm-up, I've got until about 1 o'clock, which is like an hour and 40 minutes from now, and I probably will trail over a little bit later. Maybe as a warm-up, I should do a investigate p5.2. I want to make my own p5 Jarvis. Yes, this is what I was going to look at. This is sort of a plan that I have, a possibility for today. Okay. What do you all think? Well, just tell me your thoughts more. Yeah. So, yeah, these. I really want to do more retro coding. I have a Commodore 64 sitting over there in a box. Right now, I'm kind of committed to this stuff. I feel like before I can, I don't know why, but I mean, I know why, kind of. All right, I'm gonna pause and take a look at the chat. Where there's really not so much going on right now. Let's put on some music too. Oh, I should read some random numbers. So while you're thinking, yeah, I think I should do this conversational chatbot coding challenge. I feel like I need to get it out of my system. So what I'm looking for right now, I mean, feedback and comments in the chat are fantastic, always. I guess I should leave myself here for right now. But unlike at this point, I'm not going to schedule topics to help navigate which days to tune in, says Stig. See, that is like, what's wrong with me that I'm not thinking of this? That is like, this so obvious, and yet I'm confused by this comment. Honestly, prefer watching the behind the scenes of making the videos because they stay more on topic. That seems very counterintuitive to me. I feel like the behind the scenes is where I get way off topic. The edited videos, they're edited and they're forcing me on topic. Okay. Let's read a couple random numbers. I think I'm going to do the conversational chatbot. That's what I'm feeling right now. I don't know. Maybe the numbers will somehow tell me. I thought I had some like quiet music that I play with the numbers, but I seem to have 31182. I have all these like weird sound effects. 22363, 92922, 66272, 15124, 69312. Okay. Video planning tool. That's what I should build. Yeah. All right. Let me do what I'm going to do my original plan. Okay? So, all right, is the chatbot not just the GPT wrapper? No. So this is the whole thing. I could just show you what I'm going to build. I already made it as an example for my class. Let's take a look at it. But all right, let's run this. See if it works. I don't have a console log that says everything's loaded. Okay. Unfortunately, the audio. Oh, you know what? A reason not to do this is I don't have the audio going to the live stream. It's got to just come in through my mic. So let's see how well this works. What is the coding train? Oh, allow. Okay, hold on. Why did that fail? Oh, okay. Oops. What is the coding train?
The coding train is a popular, high-speed, and reliable transportation system for coding and software development. It's a network of computers and servers that connect developers, software engineers, and IT professionals to access, share, and collaborate on code, software, and other digital projects. The coding train is a self-service platform that provides a suite of tools, services, and resources to help developers, teams, and organizations build, develop, and deploy.
That was an awkward sound there. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's a YouTube channel.
The coding train is more accurately described as a YouTube channel, specifically a YouTube channel that focuses on coding, software development, and technology. It's a platform for sharing, learning, and showcasing coding projects, tutorials, and expertise. The coding train is not a traditional physical train, but rather a digital platform that provides a unique and user-friendly experience for developers, coders, and tech enthusiasts. It's a place to share knowledge.
So the thing that I should mention about this is that one of the reasons why this example is so interesting to me is that it is happening entirely in the browser. So there is no the listening to your microphone, the transcribing what you're saying, the generating the response through a language model, and then using a voice model to play back that response. All of that is happening with local models running in the browser itself with WebGPU and transformers.js. So and these are Soul Killer asks, is this an Onyx model? So this was, I think there's several components to this project which are interesting. Learning how to do speech to text, learning how to do text to speech, and learning how to work with an LLM to generate and process the input to generate an output. So that's what I'm sort of leaning towards doing today because it's what I'm covering in my class. So I think I might just go ahead and make this as a coding challenge. What do you all think? As the poll moves in a different direction. I'm going to end this poll. The other thing that I was thinking of looking at is there are, if I go to, let me look at the ML5 project. I think it would be here. There are some new models. Did this get merged or is it not here? I'm confused. No. Oh. Well, that's the blog. I'm confused where this lives. Is it in here? Oh, I'm in the wrong. That's why I'm in the wrong. I meant to be here. Yeah. There is later this week, and certainly by the time this video gets out, the depth estimation model. Let's look at this. Let's allow. This is a model that is doing depth estimation, and I could show and talk about this particular model and some of its interesting examples, like how to use it to. I should redo the poll now. How to make a point cloud with in 3D. This is something that I could look at, and this is also a nice segue to looking at how this compares to Transformers.js. So, and then Rodak is asking about the Oregon Trail. I guess I kind of gave that up, which is a little bit sad. Yeah, so Stig, this is actually a really good point. I know I'm just always pulling up all of Stig's comments. A better approach would be to purposely make a chatbot that is providing purposely incorrect answers. Yeah, so the thing that gives me the most pause here and that I'm trying to figure out is I am covering topics in machine learning and AI with two primary core principles in my mind. One is I would like to offer material that demystifies the technology and helps people understand how it works. And the other component of that is in order to understand machine learning and AI, to understand how it works and to think critically about it, what does it mean to use it as a creative material for making art, for making satire, for making social commentary. That's what I'm trying to encourage. And so saying something about that I feel like is important. It's also like, it's just a lot to sort of think about and cover effectively, part of the channel. Okay. So now that I've shown you, I don't know why, I mean, this is, first of all, you're all the truest of the true fans of the Coding Train if you're watching this right now, because you're with me on a Monday at like 11:30 a.m. Eastern, just like going along with me, just rambling and talking through my angst. But let's go here to and thank you there was a super chat I just missed, and I think it said, do what you want, which I think is great. So I'm going to put one more poll because I'm just curious, and I'm going to. This is the keyboard I need. I'm going to say chatbot depth estimation. I mean, the thing is, I would like to do an entire stream. So that's why I don't want to do the depth estimation today. But it could be random number text to speech. Yeah, so one thing I was gonna do is actually do a guessing game, because I was actually gonna use RiveScript. I was gonna make the chatbot actually have nothing to do with like a language model, but fold that in later. It's kind of, so I don't know why I'm doing another poll. I'm desperately curious. So I put one more poll. If I were to cover an ML model, would you rather see the speech to text, text to speech stuff, or the depth estimation stuff today? Yeah, and Rodak is asking about replicating your voice. This is something that I have done, and there are models that do this, even local open source models that can do like a one-shot voice clone, meaning with a single example. 11 Labs, which is a commercial product, a cloud-based service, is excellent for voice cloning if you wanted to explore that. Okay. Okay, so I have to end this, me just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm gonna let this poll run. I think maybe I'm gonna let this poll run for a minute, and I'm gonna just get the whiteboard going for a second here, and make sure this is working. New canvas. Infinite canvas. I've got the one with the button on it again. I put a new tip on it. Like checking my hair. How do I look? I'm wearing shorts today. Okay. Ooh. Well, okay. Let's just make sure this is working, and it is. And I press this button, and it turns, nope, press this button, and it turns into an eraser. And the other thing that I realized, there's like a full screen thing that I wasn't using. Let me just name this. I think I'll just name it for the date. What's today's date? It is October 6th. What the? October 6th. Great. Okay. Oh, it's close. The chatbot is currently winning. All right. Okay, how is the focus on the whiteboard? I think it's fine, I guess. Okay, let's close out some stuff. All right, I think I should continue my P5 too. So while we're thinking about that, let's give myself, wow, time flies when you're having fun. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I know I'm in the wrong place. Okay. Let's log in as the coding train. Let's switch to P5.2. Let's do another in my series of what am I looking for? Oh yeah, 2. Okay. Let's go here. And oh, I also wanted to look at, oh, you know what I wanted to mention? There's another thing I want to mention here while we're here. So this video included a demonstration of how to load from this particular API. So I just want to mention this here also. So this particular API just gives me a URL to, it's hosting a whole bunch of open source dog images. So if I were to take this URL, I would then see a photo, this particular photo. And when I made the video, this worked to then get the message from the API into the image and draw the image. Let's see what's happening today. Yeah, so now it doesn't work because I'm getting blocked by CORS, which stands for Cross-Origin Resource Sharing. So I don't know if it was me who caused this, but this API is no longer serving up the images of the dogs with a CORS enabled, meaning you need to access the images from server-side code. So I thought this might just be a coincidence or an innocent sort of change or an accidental change. So I went to the dog CEO API GitHub. I'm just checking it now, and I filed this issue, but I have not received a response yet. So it's really unfortunate, but if you are watching those videos and looking at those examples and wondering why they're not working, this is the reason why. Hopefully I can figure it out. Okay. Wow, Web Dev Story, you've been here a long time. What happened to the big button to change camera? You know what happened to it? I now have a Stream Deck. Okay. Okay, my New Year's resolution, it's not New Year's, is to schedule the topics in advance and then label the streams with those. Would it be better? It's probably better for me to schedule the streams with the topic in advance and then just change the time last minute if I need to, like by a half an hour or an hour, than just, I haven't been scheduling them in advance because I don't know what time of day I'm going to be able to do it. So yeah. Yeah, so I should put this stuff in the, I should put this in the code examples. Let me put this in here. What are the other, I think this is also one. Oh no, that's what I just did. And then if I go to this video, all of these three use the, okay. I'm just putting this one's fine. Yeah. I think it's just two. I get it. It's two examples are broken. Okay. All right. Let me just, I don't know if you could all hear that. I'm going to shut off my Discord, but first let me just make sure that's not like a critical message. Okay, let me close this. And let me quit Discord here. I'll leave it here. And I'm just kind of turning off the audio. Okay. Wow, the poll really just like landed on like 50-50 with a little bit. Okay, you know what? You know what my original plan was 3 segments. That's what I'm going to do. Segment 1, fonts in p5.2. Segment 2, just to get back into it, I'm going to do a quick like 10-minute total beginner tutorial to like see how that goes, swapping it into my playlist. Segment 3, looking at a new feature of ML5 and talking about how that how that can be expanded by working with transformers.js. That was my original plan. Okay, so I'm going to end this poll here because it's sort of irrelevant right now. So I think this was really good. Like, this was a good discussion to have. I have really made a great improvement in that I'm actually here every Monday live streaming. So that's great. Like, big thumbs up for that. The next thing that I really need to do is just schedule the topics in advance, because it's fine to have this like bit of chit chat at the beginning of the live stream and like, let me show you a couple things from the last video. Let me answer a question here and there. But I just spent 45 minutes agonizing over what topic I'm going to do, which isn't useful. So that is something that's going to have to change. Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm really going to try to do for today is, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notifications, is be a little less like worried about the edit later. Okay. Oh, while we're here, I guess I'll try to come back to this at the end, but since I have you all glued with attention, clearly, there will be no live stream next Monday because it is a holiday and I have family things happening that day, but I think I'm going to be able to do it on Tuesday. So I will not be missing next week, but it will be next Tuesday. So put that in your mental calendar if you like. And then we'll see. 2 weeks from now, I actually have a conflict on the Monday. So I'm going to miss one week in the next couple weeks. But yeah. Okay. Make sure this camera is working here. I'm going to have a little sip of something. Where is the Discord. Oh, this is the... Okay, I have to quit Discord, I think. Or how do I mute Discord sound effects? Deafen. Will that work? Yeah. Somebody notify me in Discord right now. Let's see if I don't get it doesn't play a sound. Oh, but you know what? This has the echo reduction on, so that's fine. Actually, it's fine. I'll just leave it. It's fine. Okay. I think. I don't know. Let's try this. Okay. Sorry, everybody. All right. So, okay. Let me go back to here. And let me go to here. Okay, this is... I'm looking for... Here we go. Okay. Great. And now reference. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to need the whiteboard. I'm going to try to just spend about just say 20 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Hi, everyone. See, this is the thing. Like, I guess I am still going to take a deep breath and start as if I am recording a new, I know it's going to be a separate video that's going to get uploaded. See, the way I imagined kind of doing this was not doing that and then coming back and later recording different intros for things. I have to just not worry so much. I'm going to do it the way I'm doing it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another video where I am looking at new features of p5 2.0. And today I'm going to look at new features related to text. So there are variable fonts, textToContours, textToModel, textWeight. All sorts of things are described on this forum post related to p5.2, and I've got a track on my website where the only thing that I've really covered so far is async and await. Now I want to look at stuff with text and fonts. So let's start with textWeight. The textWeight function is used to specify the weight or thickness of the text. All right, let's make a simple sketch with some text in it. To draw text in a p5.js sketch, you just need the text you want to draw on a string and an X and Y position. You've always been able to increase the size. as well as specify a font. And maybe in a minute I could talk about where you can find the list of fonts and get other fonts to try. What's new? Oh, I'm in p5.1. The whole point of this video. So let's keep this in p5.1 for right now. I think before in p5.1 you could say, was it like text style? Yeah, look, I made the text bold. Italic. That's exciting. Let's update the sketch to p5.2. I guess. Still works, but now we have a function called textWeight that I can give it a specific thickness value in pixels. Set font weight to 400. Ah, it is working. Let's create a value where I take the mouse X position between 0 and width and map that to a font weight from, let's try like something very small, like 100 to 1200. Now, why is it not being variable? Is this font, does it not support? Ah, I see. It has to be a variable font. Only variable fonts can have variable weights. This is why, so I mean, this is the central quandary of the coding train right now. Is this, I mean, this is what the live stream is for sure. What should the edited video be? Should the edited video be, I mean, the thing is when it's a coding challenge, I feel much more clear. Like this is me struggling through, but I feel this responsibility. I'm making a tutorial. I should know how it works before I make the tutorial. So let me start this over. So we have to get a font. So I think this needs, so I'm working this out here. So I need to find a font that supports variable font weights. And so if we go here, got it. This sort of like explains what I'm trying to do here. I have to get it. I see. Yeah, great point to show. Okay. Okay. So let me back up, and I'm just kind of in the figuring it out point. So let's see. So if I were to get a font, let's say I pick, okay. I'll come back to this in a second. Let's say I was like, oh, I like Roboto. Let's pick that. And now if I want to get the font, if I get the embed code here, it's actually giving it to me already with the, what do I need the display equals swap? What does that do? You can filter out variable fonts. Okay, hold on. So how do I do that? Filter. Feeling. How do I, where's the filter for that? Technology variable. Okay, got it. Halloween. There we go. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I've got it now. Technology. Okay, all right, let's. So I'm working through something clearly. Let's go back to this. Okay, I got it. Okay. Got it. Oh, and so text style has changed. So it was text style, I'm guessing, in right, it was text style, and now if I'm in the new reference, it's textWeight and text style. Oh, text style is still there. It's still there. But it doesn't affect fonts loaded with load font. Okay. I see. So this is just, I just want to understand. But I think I understand enough. Okay. 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 Let's learn together are better than tutorials. Yeah, maybe I just need to rebrand what I'm doing and think of it more as like, let's learn together. I mean, that's what the other thing is, like, I could just only do these live streams. Okay. That's what the coding challenge is. That's why I like the coding challenge format. That's, let's build this together is really kind of how I'm doing it. I should do the chatbot thing. I should put this away and just do the chatbot thing. That's what I want to do. Let me do this though, because we're going to make this, like, what's wrong with having a 5-minute video that just explains that there's variable fonts in P5? Like, why can't I just do that? Well, I don't need a 30-minute video where I like give you the whole history of typography. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. In today's video, I'm showing you another feature of P5 2.0. If you're looking for all of my P5 2.0 videos, they're here on this track on the Coding Train website. If you want to read more about P5 2.0, I would suggest this post on the processing forums. Today, I want to look at some new features for drawing text, in particular textToContours, textToModel, and textWeight. I don't really know these things, so I'm going to be kind of figuring it out as I go in this video. So here's an old-fashioned P5.1 sketch where I draw some text at an X and Y position with a given size. Now you can specify a font. With, for example, the text font function, and now I am seeing this in the font Georgia. How do I get a list of all the fonts? How do I get a list of all fonts in browser? Window query local fonts. This is an AI overview, though, which I'm highly skeptical of. Let's fact check. Yes, this looks right. This is failing miserably. All right. So any font that's installed as part of your system, you can reference just with the text font function. However, you can load fonts from other sources. For example, Google Fonts is one option. So here I am. I could just pick the first one here, Roboto. Mr. Roboto to you. I can click Get Font. Get Embed Code. And here, this is giving me the URL to load that font, which I can actually put directly into a p5 function. Oh, shoot. I need to start this whole thing again. This is the problem. I had async in there by accident. We'll just fake taking that out. See, why do I make things so hard? See, last time, no more after this. Okay, ready? As I went down, like, let me get the list of fonts. Why did I do that? Okay, very last time. Actually, let me just come over to here. Whatever I said at the beginning was fine. So just going to come back to over here. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm going to change the font. Yeah, I'll just do it. I can change the font by calling text font. And any font that is locally installed as part of my system, I can use there. And now you see Choo-Choo in Georgia or in Courier. Now, if I want to go further than this, where do I find other fonts? I'm sure many of you will have great suggestions. Please put them in the comments. But fonts.google.com is probably a good starter place to find a wide selection of different fonts that you can load into your p5.js sketch. So for example, if I were to click on Roboto and then click Get Font, then click Get Embed Code, I actually have the URL here from which I can load that font. So I'm going to go and copy this and put that in my sketch. Now, in olden times, I would have then gone to the preload function and put load font in preload. But we're here in p5.2. If you watched my video about async and await in p5.2, you might know that I can load the font asynchronously. Let's see. Now, in olden times, I might have gone and added a preload function to load the font. But let's look at the reference for load font in p5.2. Fonts can take time to load. Await the result of load font in setup before using the result. And I just made a whole video all about await, so if that's unfamiliar to you, you can go and watch that. But right here, I'm just going to add let font equals await load font from that URL. If I'm going to use await in setup, I've got to flag that with the async keyword. And then I should be able to say text font, font. Aha! So why am I getting unsupported open type signature? Guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to update my sketch to p5.2. Now that that's done, there we go. Does that look like the Roboto font to you? Mr. Wheels asks, the font URL doesn't go into index.html? Mr. Wheels, do you mind if that ends up in the final video? So you used to have to do that in p5.1, and in fact, so yes, this is what this code is showing you to do. It's telling you to put the font into your HTML, and I'm sure it would be possible to do that. And I think that's what you had to do in p5.1 if you wanted to use a web font like that. This is what is new and different and kind of exciting about p5.2 is the load font function supports it directly, so you can avoid touching the HTML if you don't want to. And this is nice for the sort of beginner creative coder who's just playing around here. Now, the feature I want to demonstrate is called variable fonts. So when picking a font, one thing I'm going to want to do here is filter by, under technology, variable. And I don't know, it's October. Let's pick a spooky font like Grenze Gotisch. Why am I not seeing that font? What did I miss? Oh, it still says Roboto. Well, I see. Hold on. Grenze Gotisch. So I'm going to copy this, paste it in here, and there we go. While we're here, a couple other things to note. I can change text align and make it center. I can center it horizontally and vertically, and then put it in the center. And one thing you might notice in the URL, it has this property weight between 100 and 900. That means what I've loaded is the font with a variable weight between a value of 100 and 900. So normally you think of the weight as just, is it bold? Is it medium bold, light bold, normal? But now we can assign a numeric value to the weight of the font. This is all covered here in the P5 reference under textWeight. So let's add that. Let's try 100. Let's try 900. Let's map it to the mouse location. Spooky. I forgot to mention that I actually have a live stream with Kit Kuxanok, who I forgot to mention that I also made a live stream. I made a live stream. I forgot to mention that during a recent live stream, Kit Kuxanok, the p5.js lead, came on the coding train to talk about variable fonts and did a really nice demonstration of this. And what they did is they assigned the weight to a sine wave. So let me try that. I'm going to make a variable called angle, just start it at 0. I'm going to say the weight is the result of sine of that angle, which has a value between -1 and 1. And then now if I increase that angle every frame by a small amount, we can see choo-choo is expanding and contracting autonomously. Now, just to be sure about, let's push it a little. Let's see what we can get. How big of a weight can we try? How small of a weight and how big of a weight can we attempt? Can I go from 1 to 5,000? So this is not working because even though the value of W is going between 1 and 5,000, I didn't load the font at that possible weight. Maybe you can't. I was just going to try between 1 and 5,000, not 50,000. Failed to fetch. I guess the fonts have a limit. What did I do? 900? So 99? No. 100? Aha. 901? No. Okay, never mind about that. It looks like the weight of the font is predetermined based off of that particular font. Maybe it's always just between 100 and 900 for all fonts. I don't know. You look around, poke around Google Fonts, and let me know. Okay, we'll leave that in. How about that? Okay. Okay. Many years ago, a much younger man made a video about steering behaviors. And it looks like this person over here traced the contours of letter forms as targets for agents to steer towards. Let's take a look at this example. Beautiful. So This example was made with p5 1.5. Let's update that to 1.11. Still works. Just out of curiosity, let's update it to 2. No, it's broken. So how does this work now in p5.2? How do we get the points? It looks like in p5.1 we use this function textToPoints to somehow trace the contours of a font. How do we do that in p5.2? Okay, I simplified this example back down. The new function is textToContours. Returns an array of arrays of points outlining a string of text written using the font. Okay. Each point in the contour array has 3 properties. An x, a y, that's its location, and its orientation. Alpha? Its path angle? That's interesting. We're going to have to come to that. The 4th parameter, options, is also optional, but we can do a sample factor and a simplify threshold. Okay. Let's explore this. For now, let's keep everything in setup. Text, okay. What were the arguments again? A string, an x and y, and an optional options. Okay. I'm just going to give it a 0, 0, 0. I need to make this smaller. This is too big for me to code with. Okay. Oh, no font data available for Grenze Gotisch. Why is there no... So this particular font, for some reason, doesn't have any data available for it. Let's go back to Roboto. Why? Oh. So these fonts that I'm getting from Google Fonts don't actually have the contour data to them. Why not? What if I take all this stuff out. No. Try downloading a local copy of the font file. Yeah, I guess if they have a variable. Well, this is a confusing point. All right, what if I were to, what if I were to download the font? Let me get rid of all this for a second. Let's try downloading this font. I've got, I downloaded both of them, it looks like. That was weird. So I think that if you want to do textToContours, you need to use a non-variable weight version of the font. So for example, I could pick just the bold version, for example. Or let me just use regular for right now. So I'm going to upload the regular version of the font. And then instead of loading this URL, let's load the font. Aha! I have an array of arrays. So inside this is all of the points. I think these must be all the points for this C. And then all the points for the H. And then the O. So now I can iterate over all of the points. Let's call this all points. And get each individual array of individual points for each letter. And now I should have each point here. And of course, you could do this with a for of loop or a for each loop or some other kind of way of iterating over the array of points. But I'm going to do it with this nested loop. And let's just see what happens now if I do point, draw point at the x and the y. Look, they're all up here. So I said 0, 0 for where I want the text to be. Let's actually put it at 200, 200. And let's not draw the text here. Do you see? Does this say choo-choo? Getting closer. Let's make it bigger. Ah, I'm starting to see it now. Okay, now let's look at what we're missing in the textToContours. Now let's look at what we've missed in the call to textToContours. This fourth parameter options has two properties, sample factor and simplify threshold. So I can make an object with those two properties, and I can pass them in as the last argument to the textToContours function. But it gave me an error. Collinear is not defined. Did we find a bug in p5.2.0 that exists at the time of this recording? Let's get rid of the simplify threshold. Okay, look at that. Sample factor 1. Now, I don't know what the number 1 means. Let's go look that up. Is the ratio of the text path length to the number of samples. It defaults to 0.1. Higher values produce more points along the path. I know what simplify threshold is supposed to do now. I just read it. Okay, this is really cool. Let's use the whiteboard. Yeah, this is all going to stay in the video, me figuring this out. That's where this is going. Okay. Oh. Let's say I have the letter H. Or let's just do I, because it's a simple letter. Capital I. Oops. So we have the concepts of, what was it, sample factor? Sample factor, yeah. So we have the concepts of sample factor. And simplify threshold. So sample factor, let's just say we have between 0.1 and 1.0. And let's just look at just this segment. So if we have the sample factor set to 1, it's going to give me points like every single point essentially all the way along. If we have the sample factor of 0.1, it's going to give me the points 10% of the way. So in other words, I believe if we're going from here to here, we're essentially going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that was 11. But it's doing that for the entire letter form. So it's not like I'm getting more points along the top because it's a shorter segment. It's for the entire letter form. It's like, how frequently are we sampling? Are we sampling every 10%? Well, is it inverted? In my mind, it's inverted. Is 10% the right way to think about it? Well, I'm going to look at the chat here. It says ratio of the text path length to the number of samples. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. So let's say the length of this is 100. If we give it a sample factor of 1, we're going to get 100 points. If we give it a sample factor at 0.1, we're going to get 10 points. We're getting 100% of the points, 10% of the points, 50% of the points. That, if we get 50%, there's got to be many, many more points. If there's 100%, we get all the points. 10%, they're more spread out. That's the way to think about it. So in fact, if we put this back in draw, what did I miss here? And make font a global variable, oh, I'm in the wrong screen. Don't worry, that all got recorded, just not for you all. So I'll just talk you through it here. All I've done is put everything back into draw. I've made sample factor a variable, which actually could just be mouse x divided by the width to go from 0 to 1. And now we can see as I move my mouse up, I get more and more points. And I guess once we're getting even to like, 0.4, so this is where map comes in handy. Mouse x to go between 0 and width to between like 0 and maybe 0.4. I can now slowly see what that looks like. It's almost 1 o'clock already. Okay. Now, let's try simplify threshold again. Not sure why that didn't work. Removes collinear points if it's set to a number other than 0. The value represents the threshold angle to use. Oh. No. All right, I'll come back and... All right, I don't know why this is not working. But... So I'm not sure why I can't get simplify threshold to work, but just to think about what it would do is imagine if I had this I and I have all of these points. What does it mean for a point to be collinear? Well, we need more than 2 points. Now, any 2 points are collinear. That's the definition of a line. But these 3 points here are collinear. So if I wanted to simplify, if I was drawing some kind of path, if I was drawing my own path, I don't really need that one in the center because I could just connect those 2 points and it's the same as having one in the center. So simplify threshold removes extra points that are collinear along the path according to some threshold angle. So even if my points were like this, maybe this angle, the change in the angle here is so small or so big that this point could be considered collinear. Well, it's not actually collinear, but it could be considered a point to remove to simplify the path. I think that's beyond what I need to worry about or do in any demonstrations I'm doing right now, but that's what simplify threshold could do for you. So let's see if we can fix this sketch from my coding challenge 59 to work with p5.2. First, we'll take the font and load it with async. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Then we're going to change font text to points to the new textToContours. And we don't give it the size of the font here. Instead, we have to make sure we specify the font and the size. Why is this still not working? Aha! The points previously came back as one big array, but now you get them as individual letters. Oh, I know why. So we'll add a nested loop. What am I missing here? All the points Oh, whoops. J is wrong. Okay. Y. Better. Something with the steering behaviors is weird now. Okay, let's add no loop. All right, they all start at a random location. What if I actually put them at the point they're supposed to be? Oh, it's working. Something else in this sketch changed so that the steering behaviors don't work so well. Let's see. Max speed, max force, arrive. What changed otherwise in p5.2? Target, home. What's home used for? No, home is actually irrelevant. Yeah. Oh, there's a flee. Behaviors. No. Yeah. Did I forget? No, but I've got this. Did something change about vectors? No. Okay, they get an initial velocity. Target this position. Okay, the flee function is not being used, I assume, right? Okay. Let's just where's my arrive example? This is my arrive example. We're going to figure this out. Change this to p5.2. This works the same. Let me just grab this function. Whoa. Oh, well, okay. That's called pause. No, the same thing is happening. You know what? Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, I gotta figure this out more methodically. Forget about the text. Let vehicle equals a new vehicle at 100, 100. Yeah, it's not arriving properly. The arrive function is broken. So let's look at all this code. Let's just, in update, I'm just going to console log. Oh, wait, why does it say arrive? Oh, arrive this dot target. Okay. Oh, okay. Console log this dot target x, this dot target y. Let's make sure this is always working. Okay, so the target is correct. And if I don't apply this force, doesn't look like maximum speed. Maximum speed is not being applied. Did set mag change? I bet you set mag is broken. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's just always have it. Oh, weird. Oh. Oh, no. That's the new one I pasted in. Whoops. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's getting not a number. Well, that's okay. Why? Why am I getting not a number just from subtracting target this dot position? Okay. Oh. Hold on. Let's actually also, let's start the vehicle at a specific spot. Help. Help. No, I don't want to be in here. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm sort of like we got to figure this out. So I'm starting the vehicle. Hold on. We're also going to go to like frame rate 1. We're going to make this 200 by 200. Okay. And we are starting the vehicle at 150, 100, and the target is 100, 100. Okay? So y Oh, I'm not. Okay, let me apply the force now. Okay, no. Oh, yeah, but why am I getting... This is where we were getting not a number somehow, right? $50, not a number. Why do I get not a number almost instantly? So console log does target.x target.y, and console log this dot pos.x, this dot pos.y. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so somehow when it subtracted these vectors, it got a vector with a magnitude of not a number. Okay, so now so this is right. That's the vector. That's the magnitude. That's the vector. That has a magnitude, right? I can calculate it. It's the square root like that's the formula. That's the formula for the magnitude. Square the x's, square the y's, add them together, take the square root. My magnitude is correct. P5 is getting not a number. Why? Is there something going on with the z? I'm not using the z. No, okay. So the first values, we both got the same magnitude. The z's are all zeros. I don't know. Yeah, but this seems like some weird bug in P5. Yeah, we have to look at P5's implementation, I guess. But this is not... we can briefly look to go to source. Math, maybe, P5 vector. I mean, this is correct. Then we go to mag squared. I mean, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's peer a little bit further. See if we get something there. Not a number. So mag squared but This makes no sense. Am I not on 2.0? Oh, you sure? 2.0 is, I have to go to dev 2.0? Ah, it's changed. What the? This hurts me. Underscore values. Ah, okay. Why did this? Can I do? I mean, I don't really want to. Didn't really want to use my time here to figure this out, but it's too late. Okay, desired. Okay, I see. Let's look at that. Ah, I found the bug, people. There it is. We found a bug in p5.2, everybody. Okay, so values never got the default z value of 0. So where does that supposed to happen? I don't want to. I don't really feel like finding this right now, but I don't know. In the subtract function is what I'm calling. Oh, p5 vector dot sub. Where's that function definition? Ah, static sub. If no target equals v1 copy. Target set v1, target sub v2, return. Yes, somehow the non-static sub. I mean, I could fix this. Do we bother to fix this now? I don't think so. I think we report it and deal with it later. I could. I've lost the plot of whatever I was recording. See, this is what can't go into. Oh, you think that? Okay, it's exactly what Fred mentioned. You mean you think that it's actually my fault by not putting the 0 here? Could this fix it? Oh, wait. I'm in. Like, would this actually fix it? Oh, that fixed it. Ah, but so that fixed it. So now I can have the arrive function back and change these again. Okay. So this is actually going to require some work on my part. Now I see it's working. This is going to require some work on my part. Yeah, there we go. With Why are they all? Oh. So I fixed it. I don't know why I'm trying to find the right size it was. Okay. So, yeah, I think something about somewhere there's a so if somebody wants to take it upon themselves to file an issue and or a pull request, obviously, let me file the issue first and point out what this error is. I'm gonna like put it off to the side and keep going with what I was doing. And I don't remember entirely where I was, but I think I can get close enough by just saying, like, I'll just say, so now I have updated my coding challenge code to, so with all of that new knowledge, I can update the coding challenge I showed you earlier to p5.2, add loading the font with async and await, and then use the new textToContours function instead of the old textToPoints one. So that is the little segment that will go in the video. Okay. Okay. So that's textWeight and that's textToContours. What about textToModel? Let's try that one. Converts text into a 3D model that can be rendered in WebGL mode. Oh, I realized I forgot. Actually, hold on. Let's look at one more thing about textToContours. I'm going to go back to a fixed sample factor. And make the all points array global. So I see choo-choo there on all of the points. For every point, I don't just have the x and the y, I also have an angle. What can I do with that angle or alpha, which I'm not sure why there's two properties here, but let's just use the property called angle. So first of all, I could note that I can also say begin shape, end shape, and change point to vertex. Change stroke weight to 1. And you can see now I'm actually starting to draw the letter forms themselves by connecting those dots. Of course, it's a little bit off in my sample factor, but just in terms of the possibilities of what you might want to do, that's an important point. But I'm more curious about this angle. So for example, what if I were to draw a rectangle for each one of these points? And let's actually just do let's do a single character. Let's just do the O, capital O. And let's make it much bigger. And I think I'll use a simpler font right now. Oh no, it's fine. I'll keep it. Let's change the sample factor down to a little bit smaller. Okay. Now I'm going to try to draw a thin rectangle for each one of these points. Okay, I have a thin vertical rectangle for every single one of those points. What if I were to try to rotate that rectangle by whatever angle property I've got for each point? So if I'm going to rotate those rectangles, I need to also use translate and push and pop. See my videos all about transformations in P5. Okay, same result. Let's try adding the rotate method. Well, this is interesting. This is not exactly what I expected, but it's doing the right thing. I drew my rectangles vertically, and I want to see them rotated by the angle of the contour of the letter form. So I need to draw them horizontally so that they rotate with the right orientation. Let's make that even more extreme. Okay, that was too much. Look at that. textToContours doesn't just offer you the individual points for every letter form. It actually gives you the angle along the path there. There's so much you could do with that. Fractal font who fractal typeface. I want to just let me find it on her website. Is it on her website? Oh, I was just thinking about this project. but that's fine. This is a perfectly good this is a p5.js piece called Fractal Typeface, where designer and artist Bei Hu generated letter forms with I don't have to say this. Designer and artist Bei Hu designed this typeface, this visualization of letter forms with fractal trees growing out of the contours of each letter. We could speculate on exactly how she did this, but certainly you can see how knowing the angles along the contours of a letter would allow you. You can see how knowing the angles of the contours along the path of a letter form would allow you to do different kinds of creative visualizations. You can imagine swirling particles around in a flow field style. I don't know, but you will. What am I saying here? I'm just looking at the chat. I'm just trying to decide if I want to bring in an outside artwork here, because it's a little bit. Well, I'll just show it to you all. I mean, that's what I'm showing to you now. So I think that can kind of, I can just sort of put that to the side here. But I just got excited by thinking about that. So what kinds of creative ways could you visualize the letter form, knowing not just the points and the angles? Knowing not just the points and the angles. And I would love to see your versions. I would love to see what you think of to do, submitted as part of the passenger showcase with this particular video. Okay, then I said the thing about textToModel. Let's look at that one last thing. And let me go here. Change this to textToModel. Okay. Let's simplify this. Okay, so textToModel first requires us to use the WebGL renderer for 3D. All right. So I've simplified this sketch back to just drawing the text choo-choo. And textToModel requires us to use the 3D renderer, WebGL. All right, so the text is now in the wrong place because in WebGL, 0, 0 is the center of the canvas. And just out of curiosity, let's add the orbit control so I can move around this 3D space with the mouse. Orbit controls is not defined. Orbit control. It's orbit control. So there we can see the text has been rendered in 3D in a flat plane. So it looks like I can call textToModel, and it's got some similar properties as the textToPoints function, or textContours function, that is. the string to convert to a model, the x coordinate, the y coordinate, the width of the text block, the height, and then the options. I think the options is what's going to be the most important here. Where are the options described? Where are the options? Well, I don't see an hold on. Sample factor, extrude. Do any of these use any other options? Sample factor, extrude. All right, so it's missing. This is another bug that we found. Not bug really, but the option should be listed here. Okay, so here the text was drawn to a flat plane. Let's try to change it to a model. I'll call it textGeom for text geometry. TextGeom equals font.textToModel. That's what I do. Font.textToModel. The text I want, choo-choo. The x and y position, let's just give it 0, 0. The width, I don't know what that's going to do. Let's just give it something. And let's now see, instead of drawing the text, I'm now going to draw the model, textGeom. Okay. There it is. So I guess 100 kept it wrapped, like if I give it 600, right? It's fitting it into some sort of box. So this doesn't look that different. If I put a fill, does it color it in? Yes. Okay. So it created the model based off of all the properties that I'm putting beforehand. But it's not that different than just drawing it onto a flat plane. However, it really is, because there's all sorts of 3D functionality that you could apply to it if it's a model. And we can now look at the properties, the options that we could add here. One of which is called extrude for extrusion. And let's just try giving it that. Now you can see, look, it's thick. Let's give that a 50. And maybe let's fill it with an alpha and give it a stroke. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. It's actually like, ooh, that's pretty interesting. I love that. So now, of course, the world is your oyster, if you will. I don't know what to say. World is your oyster. Yeah. So now you can go so much further with this in terms of, okay, well, let me actually zoom into it. Oh, that's super fun. Okay, well, now you could go so much further with this just by having access to the 3D model made out of your text. Oh. And then I should also point out there's the other property here. You can also add in sample factor. So if I made that 1, we can see the level of detail now in terms of the letter form is much higher than if I were to make this 0.1, which I guess was the default. That looks like what I had before. But if I went like much more extreme, 0.01, no, that's 0.03, we can see the 0.03, we can see the geometry has become much more primitive here. Okay, so you've learned how to load a font from Google Fonts, adjust its variable weight with textWeight, sample the points along the outline, the contours, the paths of the letter forms with textContours, as well as turn your text into a 3D model. So I hope that you will take all of these options and make something creative with it. And if you do, please share it with me on the Coding Train website in the Passenger Showcase, link in the description. I'll see you in the next P5 2.0 video where I will start to look at custom shapes. How do you draw curves, Beziers, splines? How has that changed in P5.2? So if there's something in particular you want to see in that video, just let me know also in the comments. See ya next time. Goodbye. Okay, I'm not actually leaving live stream. That was me recording and ending. And I think I should mention one other thing maybe, which is yes, I should. Oh, yeah. I also want to mention that if you're exploring typography, computational typography in P5, I just showed you the core new functionality. I just showed you the new functions in P5.2, but you can actually extend that functionality with the P5 library p5.WAF2. I don't know, what is that? ASCII conversion, P5 party. Wait, but what does this library do? I know it does more things. Maybe I won't mention. Add on to support WebGL rendering, text to points related text method for WAF2 fonts. That's a particular kind of font. WAF2 fonts. What's that? What is that? That's a web open font format. Oh, okay. Okay, so now I get it. I get it. Let me just also. Huh. Does anybody know, like, what's. But I don't know enough to add this into the video, I guess. So, Dave, if you're listening, send me a message. Okay, well, I covered one topic today, which maybe is fine because we're way behind on the editing anyway. I kind of want to do the conversational chatbot. It is 1:30 already. Could take a short break. That's going to take a long time, though. I think that's unrealistic. Yeah, no, I think I've got. I guess this is what today was. WAF2 is a can of worms. Okay, we'll leave that out. Thank you. Sorry, I'm looking at my messages. I don't know. This is probably going to be. This is okay, right? This is going to get cleaned up and put into like a useful video that'll be useful for people. They'll learn how to do this stuff in P5.2. That's important. That's meaningful. I've done something today. I didn't get to any of the other stuff. I guess I could do Oh, yeah. Let me find this. Frank is making a good point. Where was that? Let's see if we can find that. Because it'd be nice to feature that. There was it was on open processing. Let's find this. I don't want to not feature this. Where was this? Somebody help me find this. Variable font, community, projects, p5.2, open processing. I don't know. Is it here? Is there a link to it from here? So where? Okay. Where was this? Events? Wait, hold on. Let's go back to here. Maybe it's going to be part of this thread. No. p5.js, no. No. Where is this? Community sketches. Okay. Hold on. Let's go to beta. Community sketches. Oh, yeah. But wasn't there? Oh, yeah. I guess there's just a bunch here. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Yeah. I guess I'll also okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, this one's feelings make. Which one is yours, Frank? So lovely to see. Okay. There's also a set of wonderful, on the p5.js website, there is a collection of beautiful sketches, many of which made with these new 2.0 features here. Boiling Point by Dave Pagarek. Boiling Point. Abracadabra. Feelings make us human, and you can see different languages and character sets here, as well as this sketch, Confused, which is definitely making use of the angles that I looked at, as a third property beyond just the XY positions of the contours of the letter forms. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You learned something new about p5.2, maybe got inspired with an idea. Please, if you make something with any of the new variable fonts and textToContours, textToModel functionality that's in p5.2, you can go to the Coding Train website, the page for this video, link in the description, and submit your sketch to the Passenger Showcase. And I'll see you next time in the next p5.2 video. Maybe I'll cover curves and splines and custom shapes. Is there anything you want to know about or see that's new in p5.2? Let me know in the comments. Goodbye. Something just dinged. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for today. I don't feel great about how I used my time here. I'm trying to. Let me just turn off this volume here. Can't. I don't know how. I don't know why my do not disturb is not working and the dings are happening, but it's fine. Yeah, this whistle, I gotta get a better whistle. Anyway, there's still lots of videos to edit. So I'm going to, here's my resolution. For next week, the live stream will likely be Tuesday. And what I'm going to do next Tuesday is plan in advance exactly what I'm going to do. And I will set a time in a YouTube event, and I will put the topic and the outline of things I'm going to do in the title, and I will kind of prepare in advance. So I don't know, each week is a new adventure, a new failure, a new success, a new opportunity to learn, to get better at this. And I'm glad you were with me. I think that there's something here that actually is a simple, relatively simple video for Mathieu to edit that's hopefully not more than, I mean, the whole thing is like, I wanted to just make like a 5-minute update video, be like, here are the things, but that's just not who I am. So we'll see. I'm going to go. I'm happy to answer a couple questions. I guess I've been here now for 2.5 hours, which is a good limit. I mean, a part of me is like, could I come back very briefly later to do the coding challenge? I don't know. I'll think about it. I think I'm probably done for today, and I'm, and we'll see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll put on some music to say goodbye. See if there's any last questions. It's so loud, but I don't know where the sound, why it won't let me adjust the volume. I'm going to say once again, here we go, sing it with me. It's the Oh, I see. Coordinates. There we go, that's better. Okay. Well, okay, I appreciate the comment. My favorite streams are the chaotic ones. Well, that's good. I mean, I think also, like, maybe I'm being too ambitious. That the farmer was replaced. Oh, it's a coding game. Oh, I've heard of this game. I think so. I've got some emails about it. Very nice to see the train running smoothly again, says Wave Morpher. Well, I don't think it's running smoothly, but it is running. So that's one thing. I guess the song ended. Also, maybe I need to be less ambitious and really just have one topic per stream. Because that was the topic for today's stream. It was in looking at the new font and text features of p5.2. I did that for about 1.5 to 2 hours, and there will be a video that gets edited down and uploaded later, and that's a success. All right, everybody, I'm going to shut this down. So there will almost definitely not be a stream next Monday, but I think there'll be one a week from tomorrow. Next Tuesday. And yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, I see everybody's leaving anyway, so I'm going to go too. Goodbye.